Welcome to today's technical drawing class. Today we are going to draw the tangency problem spanner. To start off, we'll draw a horizontal line to indicate the midpoint. And then we'll draw a vertical line. So this point here is the middle as shown in the diagram. From this point, we can see that there's these two sides here are inclined at an angle of 30 degrees to the vertical. And since it's inclined at 30 degrees to the vertical, which means it is also inclined at 60 degrees to the horizontal. So we'll use our 30, 60 degree set square, where this side is 30 and this side is 60. And we're going to draw a line through this midpoint. And that line will be inclined at 60 degrees to the horizontal. So from here to here is 30 degrees, and from here to here is 60 degrees. The two mouths of the spanner, the one that is here and the one that is here, are also inclined. They are parallel to this line, which means they are inclined at 60 degrees to the horizontal. The distance from this point here to this point here is 40 millimeters, which is 4 centimeters. So I'm going to mark 20 here and 20 here. The 40 millimeters is written at the top part here. These two lines are parallel to this line. So we're going to use a set square again to draw two other lines at 60 degrees to the horizontal. Okay, so we've gotten these two lines. In the diagram, from this point, the distance from here to here is 13 millimeters as shown around here. So they mark from the midpoint to somewhere on this slanted line, they marked 13 millimeters. Now from this point, from here to here is 13 millimeters. From this point, we're going to draw a line that cuts across to it. This line will be inclined at 30 degrees to the horizontal because it follows the slantedness of this line. So we've gotten these 2 points here as the mouth of the spanner. From the diagram, from the midpoint, an arc was drawn. The arc has a radius of 23 millimeters. So we're going to use our compass. We're going to draw an arc that will touch these two lines. So we've gotten the mouth of the spanner, as you can see. From this point, we now want to get this arc here. The radius of this arc is 30 millimeters. To get this arc here, we're going to use our compass and cut in and make a mark here. And then from here, we can draw the 30 millimeter arc. So we use our compass, we're going to measure 30 millimeters. So from this point, the mouth of the spanner, I'm going to mark an arc on this curve we made before. And then from this point, using the same radius, we're going to put our compass here and draw a big arc in this. On the other side, the arc here is also has a radius of 30 millimeters. The arc here also has a radius of 30 millimeters. So we're going to repeat the same process we did here. Using the same radius, using the same centimeter, we're going to mark an arc on this curve, and from this point, we're going to draw big arc like this. This big arc here that touches, there's a larger arc that connects this arc and this arc together. It has a radius of 53 and its point came from the center. So you can simply use our compass and extend to 53 millimeters. And then join these two arcs together. Now we're done with the head of the spanner. Now I'm going to erase this line here so that it will be more clear for to see. Okay. At the bottom here, there is the what's it called? The body of the spanner. It has a length of 34 millimeters. So from this point here, from the center, from this midpoint here, it has a length of 34 millimeters, which means 17 on this side and 17 on this side. So first, I'm going to extend the midpoint down. Okay. I'm going to extend the midpoint down. Then I'm going to get the length. And I'm going to draw a horizontal line through this point. See, the length of the body of the spanner is 34 millimeters. So 17 on this side, 17 on this side. Then we're going to extend this line upward. From this point, we're going to draw a line from this point upward and from this point upward. The last thing to get is the curve that touches here and the curve that touches here. To get this curve, we know that this curve is an external, it's like it's going to form an external circle. This arc here that we're going to draw is going to be like it's going to form an external circle. It has a radius of 20 millimeters. And it is touching this arc, this 30 millimeter, this arc of radius 30 millimeters. So because it's an external arc, we're going to add the two radius together, which is 30 plus 20, and that's 50. With a radius of 50, we're going to come to this point where we made the arc. I'm going to mark 50 outside. So this is the point where we made this 30 millimeter arc. I'm going to mark 50 here. Next up, next we're going to extend here by 20 millimeters. We're going to draw a vertical line up to touch this line. This is that point where it touches is where we're going to use to draw the arc that will connect these 2 points. So from here to here is 20 millimeters. So this is the point where the two lines meet. So this point is where we're going to put our compass. And with a radius of 20, we're going to mark the arc that will touch this arc and this line. And then you can take in out this other line. We have gotten the arc. The other arc here has a radius of 55 millimeters. Again, it is also an external arc. So because it's an external arc, we're going to add it to the radius of the arc that it's touching. The radius of this arc that it's touching is 53 millimeters. And this one has, and the arc we want to draw has a radius of 55 millimeters. Because it's an external arc, we're going to add the two radius together. And 53 plus 55 is 108. So it's 108 on the compass. I'm going to put my compass on this point where this 53 millimeter arc was made. I'm going to mark an arc. The next thing to do is also the same thing we did here. Because the radius of the arc is 55, we're going to measure 55 millimeters on the line here. Then we're going to draw it upwards. Where it touches, that's where we're going to get our arc from. Hmm. Measure 55 millimeters on this horizontal line. And from this point, I'm going to draw a line upwards. Now, at this point where the two lines meet, I'm going to get the radius of the arc, which is 55 millimeters. I'm going to draw an arc. Then I'll take out this line. The next thing is to take out the lines and do our dimensions. And don't forget to thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.